So you can pick one of the color themes here and you can add in as many columns as you want, and you can hit this button so that there's an alert there, and instantly this is all done. You can see in your preview window, what am I looking at? This is our new Market Analyzer template builder window, and it is insanely easy to now build your own beautiful market analyzers that work with not only our pattern software, but any indicator in your NinjaTrader. Let me show you all about it right after this. Now, if you love watching these videos as much as I love making them, we have some super cool ones coming up. So feel free to subscribe to our channel and you'll get alerts to those. Okay, to give you an overview of what we're going to be looking at today. Number one, we're going to look at how to build a market analyzer in different chart templates with custom indicators. Two, we're going to show you how to turn potential patterns on and off using the built-in presets. Three, we're going to add your own NinjaTrader indicators as columns. Four, we are going to set alerts for each columns. The fifth thing is we're going to create audio alerts with our Workspace Alert Integration in one click of a button. And six, we are going to use the sync checker to make sure our charts are always in line with the templates that we made. All right, so the first thing you want to do is get into your XABCD properties window. So in NinjaTrader, go to New, XABCD Suite, XABCD Patterns. Now, if you don't have this, you'll want to upgrade your software and then you'll see it. And of course, we do have a really slick new installer, so you'll want to check that out. And when it opens, when this window opens, you'll find the tab that says Scanner and Alerts, and that's where the Market Analyzer template builder lives. Now, the whole idea here is simple. You're building a list of time frames, and each time frame will become a column in your market analyzer. And when you generate that, we will write the proper NinjaTrader Market Analyzer template XML file directly into NT8, fully wired up, no manual configuration. I know this is insane. Look, it still gets me excited. So let's add our first chart type. You're gonna see a drop-down menu in the left, and it says chart type. It defaults to minute. To the right of that is a number field, and then you can click the add button. Now, let's say that you want to add in a 5-minute bar. Let's make sure the drop down says minute first of all, and type in 5 in the number field and click add. You will see a new row appear in the list below with the label 5M, and that has a small badge on there to the right showing the chart type. Now, if you want a 100 tick, change the drop down to tick, type in 100, hit add, and now you have a 100 tick row. It is that easy. Of course, you can add tick bars, volume bars, range bars, Renko, second, minute, hour, daily, weekly, monthly, point and figure. You get the idea, right? Now, for each row, you can customize a few things. You can click on the name and customize that. That field is going to be what is the heading for that column. So you want to go ahead, do that, double click, rename, and you can type 5M. You might call it a 5-minute or just a 5M scalp, whatever you want to do. Bars to load is going to be the number of fields to load underneath that bars column. So this tells NinjaTrader 8 how many bars to preload for each row. So most of the time, you'll probably just leave it at 256 bars, but that is configurable to you. And of course, the days back is how many calendar days back to pull that data. And of course, you will see on the right side of each row, there are some action buttons. There's a duplicate or the copy icon. You can move it up or down if you are rearrange things, and of course, delete. So of course, reorder as much as you want and manage your list that way. There's also a live preview right below the list. Okay, so as you add in timeframes, that mini table updates in real time, showing you exactly what the column headers will look like and what the sample data might look like for the ES and the NQ. It's just a quick sanity check before you actually generate it. Now, this is one of my favorite parts. On the right side of the add chart type, you will see 3 preset buttons that say scalp, swing, and multi-time frame. So clicking the scalp and it instantly loads a shorter time frame configuration. So tick bars and a few intraday minute bars is basically optimized for fast scalping setups. Click swing and it replaces the list with a higher time frame row. So hourly, daily, and weekly for position more swing traders. So click the multi time frame and it's of course going to load the full stack from tick charts all the way up to a daily. A comprehensive, basically multi-time frame view for people that trade both. Now, these are great starting points. You load a preset, then you add and remove the rows and customize it for your own instruments and needs. Right next to the presets is a button that says potential patterns that you might have seen. This is going to be a toggle. So click it and it will toggle the potential patterns on. Click it again and it will turn them off. When potential patterns are on, the market analyzer is also going to display that in there so that you can see that they're forming. And when they haven't completed yet, so that CD leg hasn't yet finished, you'll get that early sort of warning if you want it. Now, when it's off, only completed patterns are going to show, of course. So for active trading, I usually keep potential patterns on. I want to know what is developing. For a daily scan or something that I only confirm, look at larger time frame settings, I don't need to see the potentials. I might turn it off to keep the grid cleaner. So you can see that in the preview button, and you can also go into your grid settings, and there's a little potential opacity slider, and as you slide it, it's going to make it more transparent so that visually you can either see it or kind of hide it and still have it in the background. That's going to be all up to you. Of course, you can set the max rows or how many instruments you want the market analyzer to show at once, the font size in there as well, auto sorting rows, highlights, all that stuff is all going to be controlled in your grid settings. Now, really quick, you also might want to subscribe to the channel because we're going to be releasing a video showing you our new breaking news indicator. This is part of our News Pro, but that's schedule news. The other half of it that we've now released is our breaking news. And you can go on our website if you want a little preview for that, but I'll be dropping a video on that. So be sure to subscribe so you can see how that works. So like when a plane goes down or there's a natural disaster or war or something that affects oil, you get notified when that news storm's detected. Okay, so far we've been using the XT patterns as the data source. That's the default, but you can add any installed NinjaTrader indicator as a column in your market analyzer. So look at the source dropdown on any row. By default, it shows the XT patterns. Click that dropdown and you'll see every indicator installed on your NinjaTrader instance. So ATR, RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, EMA, whatever you have, okay? Now let's just say you want to add an RSI column to the 5-minute row. You're going to click on the source dropdown on that row. You're going to scroll down to RSI and you're going to select it. Now notice two things happen. First, the plot type dropdown on that row now shows the available plots from the RSI indicator. So for RSI, that's typically just the RSI value, but also something like Bollinger Bands, you'll see the upper, middle, and lower. You pick which plot feeds into that column. Okay, secondly, there's a small gear button right next to the source dropdown. So click that and that parameter editor box opens where you can confirm the indicator's inputs like the period or the price type deviation, all that standard NTA indicator settings. If the source is the XT patterns, that gear button is going to be disabled because the patterns don't have a user configurable parameter the same way. So you can build a grid that has pattern columns for the XABCD pattern detection, plus RSI to see the momentum, plus ATR to see the volatility, all that in the same row, all updating live. So to add the indicator as its own dedicated row instead of replacing the existing row source, just use the add button like you did before, then change the source on that new row to your indicator. Of course, one tip is the row with the NTA indicator source, you'll notice that the alert bell and the pop-up buttons for that row are hidden. That's intentional because the audio and the pop-up alerts are driven by the pattern detection. Now let's talk about the per column alert controls. This is something that people ask us constantly about. On every XT pattern row in your list, you're going to look to the far right. After the delete button, you're going to see a small icon that has a bell and a square. Okay, so the bell is going to control the audio alerts for that row, and the square is going to control the pop-up alerts for that row. So when the bell is filled, you'll see that the audio alert is on for that time frame, and when it is faded, the audio alert is going to be off for that time frame, so it stays silent. Now the same is for the pop-up. Of course, when you get a brighter square, it means that the pop-up is on, and of course that faded one means that it's off. These are per row. So you can have a 1-minute row with both the bell and the pop-up on, right? You want to know immediately when that fast pattern completes. Your daily row though might just have a pop-up on and the bell off, right? So click the bell to toggle it on and off, and of course click the square to toggle the pop-ups on and off, and the icon swaps basically immediately to let you know with that opacity changing so that it is ready and configured for when we do that next step, which we'll talk about later on. Actually, let's get to that now. All right, so this is one that is seriously powerful. This is how you get the audio alerts actually working inside NinjaTrader. Here's the situation, okay? NinjaTrader's Market Analyzer has its own alert system built in, but wiring up for every column manually is extremely tedious if you've ever done it. The Workspace Alert Injection does that automatically. It takes your existing NinjaTrader workspace file, it injects all the alert configuration for every XC pattern column, and it saves it into a new workspace with everything pre-wired. So it's not going to overwrite in case there's any you wanting to turn them off or change them again. This way it will allow you to preview that new alert, keeping everything the same, but adding in those audio alerts. So here's how you do it. Scroll down past the generate button until you see the section called Workspace Alert Injection. Okay, first step, underneath the workspace, click the browse button. You're going to navigate to your NinjaTrader workspace file. And these are called XML files. They're stored in your NT documents directory. So it's documents and then NinjaTrader 8 workspaces. So select your workspace and click open, and the path is going to populate in that field. Now the second step is the sound mode. You're going to see checkboxes that says use XABCD pattern sounds, where basically each pattern plays its own sound. Okay, so when this is checked, each pattern type plays its own sort of dedicated pattern sound. So it calls out the pattern name, and that way you can instantly, in bullish or bearish, if you'll know exactly what's happening and when. Now, if this is unchecked, a new field will appear, which has a sound file that you can select your own custom sound file if you want, but it's going to make it very easy to have this all configured for you. Now, step 3 is alert actions per row. So remember the bell and the pop-up that we talked about before. So those settings are going to carry forward here. Now, when we inject all the alerts into our workspace, the rows with the bell on get all the audio alerts, and the ones with the bell off will not, and the same for the pop-up. So you already configured that before. There's nothing extra to do here. Okay, so then we click the generate workspace with alert button, and this of course does exactly what it sounds. So the tool is going to read your workspace XML that you selected, add in all the alert blocks for each of the XT pattern columns according to our per row settings that we have, and output that new workspace. Now the status message below here will tell you how many alerts were actually put into that new workspace file. If it said 0, you know there's a problem, but in most cases you're going to have enough columns selected where it's going to insert those audio alerts. Now, the last step here in NinjaTrader, go to File, Workspace, and load that newly generated workspace. Your Market Analyzer is now has all the alerts. It's all built in. It's wired up. It's ready to go. NinjaTrader is going to start playing the sound and show you pop-ups exactly how you had them set. Now, if you think this saved you maybe an hour or a lot of frustration, I hope the trade-off between me asking you for a like, which is going to take you 3 seconds, is a fair trade. And honestly, thank you. Now, the last one. Okay. The last feature is going to save you from a subtle problem that trips people up all the time. Here's what's happening. Okay, you build your template, you generate it, you load it into NinjaTrader, everything is working great. Then a week later, you go back into your XABCD properties and you change a pattern detection setting. Maybe you turned a pattern on or off. Maybe you tightened some sort of a visual setting. Okay, but these changes apply to your live chart immediately. But what about your Market Analyzer template? It was generated from the old settings from last week. It's now out of sync. The patterns might be different. Okay, it's not going to show you the same thing. They might be out of sync. So the sync checker catches this. Scroll down to the Market Analyzer sync checker section. Basically, it's an expandable panel, we'll call it. Click browse and navigate to your existing Market Analyzer template XML file, and you're going to select it. Now the tool immediately compares the settings embedded with that template against your current XABCD property windows. Now 3 outcomes. You're going to get a green banner, and it's going to say the template matches your current XABCD properties. You're in sync. There's nothing more for you to do. The second one is going to be a yellow or an orange banner. It's going to basically say the templates do not match in your current XABCD properties. So it lists every setting setting that is going to be different. So it shows you the settings by name and the value that the template has versus what your current settings are. So you can see exactly what is different. And then the red banner will say something went wrong parsing the file, usually a technical thing. It usually means that you picked the wrong XML file. That's a popular thing. It's not actually a market analyzer, or it's corrupted some way. So you have those three colors to look at. If you see that yellow warning, the fix is simple. Just go back up to your generator template and regenerate everything with your new settings. And that's the full market analyzer template builder walkthrough. Now, just to recap, okay, very important. Building your market analyzer was the first thing we did, adding in chart types, of course, with different columns. We used presets to instantly configure scalping, swing, and multi-time frame setups and toggling on and off those potential patterns. We also looked at swapping any row from the XT patterns into an installed indicator in NinjaTrader 8. And we looked at our per row alert controls with the bell and the pop-up window, as well as our Workspace Alert Injection to get the audio and pop-ups wired into NinjaTrader automatically. And the last thing was our sync checker. So one more thing before you go, if you are the kind of trader who needs to react to sudden moving markets and events, and I mean like wars breaking out and stuff like oil supplies we talked about, major plane crashes, natural disasters, what the president said, whatever it might be, we do have a new feature in our News Pro indicator that is our breaking news, and we're going to be releasing a video on that shortly. So feel free to subscribe and you will get notified for that one. Of course, click that bell icon to make sure that you do. And we don't have a release date for it yet, but it will be there hopefully soon. So subscribe, and thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.